Where did John's authority to baptize come from? From heaven or from people? They stepped away and debated among themselves, saying, "How should we answer this? If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Then why didn't you respond to John and believe what he said?' But if we deny that God gave John his authority, we will be mocked by the people, for they are convinced that John was God's prophet." Matthew 21, verse 25 to 27. Good morning, beloved. I trust you had a blessed night. This is Risewise with Mayo and Uche Most Favored. Today, I would like to probe a bit into your inner man by asking a very sensitive question. Do you want the truth or do you want to be right? It may sound absurd, but I tell you, it's a very important question that if you answer for every argument and new contrary opinion, it will go a long way as a great template you can use to solve life's hardest puzzles and have a better relationship with God and people. The scripture I read earlier was a conversation between Jesus and some of the religious leaders of his time, which were in charge of the temple and were somehow the major decision makers in Israel. These men were always at conflict with Jesus Christ because they couldn't come to understand his ways and teachings, which were usually contrary to their laws, doctrines, and belief system. Although most of them couldn't really embrace Jesus or his ministry. However, you find them loitering around him in most cases, trying to know who he is, where he came from, and what he stands for. It wasn't bad that they wanted to know these things. The major challenge with the Pharisees was that they weren't really interested in knowing the truth. Rather, they were only trying to make sure that they were always right in the public's eyes and that Jesus was wrong about whatever he was communicating to the people. And this was why I earlier quoted their argument in Matthew 21. If they had truly been interested in knowing the truth, even if they weren't sure of the answer, they were supposed to ask Jesus to tell them the truth, and then they go back and do their own personal research. But you discover that from most of the encounters they had with Jesus, including this one, the signs, the wonders, miracles, prophecies, even the resurrection of the dead, which was reported to them by their own guards that secured the tomb, they weren't interested in believing. Rather, their heart was hardened and determined to believe and preach otherwise. Why? Because of their evil, selfish motive, which is to always be the leaders in charge of the temple taxes and other benefits they derive from the people. So you see, men can choose winning an argument over knowing the real truth of a matter. And this is the essence of today's podcast. If you can always approach all matters of inquiry, new opinions and ponderings with the attitude of, I don't just want to be right. Yes, I know, based on what I have believed in time past, up to the time I'm hearing this new and contrary opinion, it can be hard to take in. But I want to know the truth, even if it makes me wrong, because it is the truth that makes me free from the bondage of ignorance. Determine today to drop a self-sufficient mindset, be patient to hear the whole story and do your own thorough research before coming to a conclusion about any matter. Remember that after all is said and done, you may win the argument, look good in the eyes of people, but suffer great loss if you eventually realize that you were not correct about the matter. So think about it. Have a blessed day.